Hi, I'm Erik Voss, and we have a second trailer for Spider-Man Homecoming giving us more info about Michael Keaton's The Vulture, new details about Spider-Man's suit, and by the look of it, this entire scene on the ferry. Okay, don't worry guys, I'm sure there's even more to this scene where the Joker tries to blow it up. Oh crap, just spoiled that for you too, sorry. Now, I covered a lot of this footage in my first trailer breakdown, but in this video, I'm gonna break down all the new stuff and point out some interesting details that you might have missed. So let's get started.
What's up, guys?
So, starting things off, we see how this Spider-Man movie addresses the age-old superhero problem of the skin-tight superhero suit. Do you try to squeeze into it quickly, like Deadpool in that recent No Good Deed clip? Do you wear it underneath all your clothes at all times, like past Peter Parkers have done? Like, that sucks too. I wear a thick unitard under everything I wear. Just sweat everywhere. So, Spider-Man Homecoming has come up with this brilliant solution. A loose, baggy suit that shrink wraps around Peter to become form-fitting, like those self-tying shoelaces in Back to the Future Part 2. And I think one of the appeals of this version of Spider-Man is how they ground the character in reality, focusing on actual high school issues and showing how a real teenager would deal with this kind of tech. Also, I love the close-ups of his adjustable binocular eyepieces and web shooters, as well as this mid-air model pose that he strikes. It's very retro Spider-Man. Okay, let's move on.
So, to become an Avenger, are there like trials or an interview?
Do me a favor. Can't you just be a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man? Just stay close to the ground.
You're the Spider-Man from YouTube.
So here we come back to this scene with Peter begging Tony Stark to be in the Avengers. And if you look closely, you can see Peter awkwardly recording this conversation with his camera phone. Remember in the last trailer, Peter watched footage that he took from that airport battle in Civil War, and I'm betting that this was the same camera that he used to get that footage. Like he's making a My Time with the Avengers highlight reel on YouTube. In fact, Ned even mentioned seeing footage of Spider-Man on YouTube.
You're the Spider-Man from YouTube.
Way to self-promote, Peter. And I like Tony's response here.
Can't you just be a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man?
Obviously, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man is a Spider-Man catchphrase from the comics and the past movies, and Stark is using it here to try to keep Spider-Man as a small-time local superhero, not one of the big-timers who have to avenge planets and guard galaxies. And we get to see Spider-Man's version of that small-time life, crashing pool parties like this is an 80s teen comedy. But let's be honest, Spider-Man showing up to your party is the best. Yeah, let's move on.
Can you summon an army of spiders?
No, Ned, no.
Do you know him too?
I stole his shield.
Can I try the suit on? Badass.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure Ned is gonna be the best part of this movie. And even though Ned Leeds is a character who exists in the Spider-Man comics, everything about this character, from his look to his personality, is definitely Gonkley from the Ultimate Spider-Man comics. And a lot of you have pointed out that the whole tone of this movie looks like it was inspired from that particular comic series, but I think they're just avoiding specific names and details because they don't want us to expect a Miles Morales version of Spider-Man. But they should, because that would be great for so many reasons. Okay, then check out this Captain America's Fitness Challenge video that they have to watch in gym class. Now, this is interesting because, for one, at this point in the MCU timeline, Captain America is still considered a criminal and a fugitive. So this gym teacher must still be on Team Cap, or maybe it's a hometown hero thing, like Queen School, Brooklyn guy, I don't know. But also, this video looks super dated, like 4:3 aspect ratio, old school graphics, kind of like all those worn down VHS tapes we had to watch in high school. Or if you're younger than me, I don't know, what did you watch stuff on? Holograms? And Cap's suit here looks like the one from the first Avengers movies, so I guess at some point after he got reawakened in the 20-teens, he made time to shoot this fitness challenge video. And when Peter brags to Ned about stealing Cap's shield, which he did in Civil War, we can see Zendaya's character, Michelle, reading this book, Of Human Bondage by W. Somerset Maugham. Basically, it's a book about being a slave to your emotions and desires, which makes sense for Michelle since we really only see her be sarcastic and emotionally detached.
You guys are losers.
And there's also this great benefit of an adjustable Spider-Man suit. It can fit people of different sizes, giving us this awesome shot of Ned.
Badass.
And before I move on, we get this quick shot of Peter and Ned building some kind of tech at school. And it's hard to tell exactly what it is, but based on the red and yellow colors, this could be some Stark Iron Man tech, maybe part of Peter's new homemade suit that he has to engineer after he loses the one that Stark gave him. Okay, moving on.
The rich and the powerful, like Stark, they don't care about us.
The world's changing, boys.
Time we change too.
These weapons are crazy dangerous.
Listen, Peter, forget the flying monster guy. There are people who handle this sort of thing.
The illegal weapons ferry was at 2:30. You missed it.
So in this section, we see more of the Vulture and some of the people he works with. Now, his words here kind of echo some of the political sentiments from recent years, specifically the 99%ers who argue that the rich and powerful 1% financial elite in America controlled too much wealth and influence. You know, like the egomaniacs who insist on putting their names on every skyscraper in New York City. Ooh, wrong egomaniac. We actually see Avengers Tower in this trailer, followed by a news report showing Tony Stark and the words damage control. So what's going on here? So after the events of Civil War and the past Avengers and Iron Man movies, Stark has been criticized for causing billions of dollars of collateral damage. So now he has decided to invest his own money and take over the cleanup operation. And Damage Control is actually the name of a Marvel Comics series that follows a crew cleaning up after the superhero conflicts, working for a company co-owned by Tony Stark and Wilson Fisk. And Damage Control is actually going to be adapted into a TV series by ABC. Meanwhile, NBC has a similar concept with Powerless, a workplace comedy set in the DC universe. But Stark taking over this Damage Control has put Vulture and his crew out of the job because they would scavenge through this wreckage, find super tech parts, and bring them back to the Tinkerer to make new weapons that they can use. So I guess that's an example of a 1%er screwing over the little guy, but in this case, the little guy was up to no good anyway. And I love the Vulture's look here, this pilot jacket with an excessively fluffy collar to make him look even more like his appearance in the comics. This section also gives us a close-up on the Vulture's wings, which look and sound amazing. They look like a mix of Falcon's wings, Stark-type repulsors, and the Green Goblin's glider, which kind of makes sense because the Vulture is a scavenger who would have gotten his tech from existing parts. It actually seems like this movie is setting up that parallel between the Vulture and Peter Parker, who does a similar thing with his own tech. There's also this fun moment on the ferry with Spider-Man joking that they missed the illegal weapons ferry, so I'm guessing that's what these guys are doing here, transporting some new illegal tech weapons created by the Tinkerer. And before I move on, we get this amazing no-look web bomb, which kind of feels like Peter doing his best impression of Tony Stark from the first Iron Man. And I love the way Spider-Man's eyes narrow, kind of like he's doing that cool stare as he's like showing off his move. All right, moving on. Whoa, this all looks awesome. So first, you can see the Vulture's wings smashing out of a car, meaning that while this was all going on, he was hiding in a car waiting to surprise attack. We also see this massive blast that slices the ferry in half, which we saw in the last trailer, but now there's even more of the scene with Spider-Man desperately trying to web the ferry back together as if he's stitching a wound. And then Iron Man swoops in to save the day with a new suit design and these propulsion drones that assist him in pushing the ferry back together. Now, some people are a little frustrated that this trailer might have shown too much of this scene. Like, not just the interesting looking dilemma of Spider-Man trying to web together a ferry sliced in half, but also the cool way that that problem gets solved with Iron Man. Like, that part kind of seemed like it was meant to be a reveal. And if you think about it, it would kind of be like if the trailer for Spider-Man 2 in 2004 included not just the shots of Doc Ock on the runaway train, but Spider-Man successfully stopping the train. Like, sure, it looked cool, but now you've taken a bit of the suspense out of this moment. So yeah, I kind of agree with the frustration, but again, there may be other cool aspects to this scene that we haven't seen yet, like maybe the ferry hits an iceberg. Also, I'm pretty sure this sequence will be somewhere early on or in the middle of the movie, because this is where Peter Parker loses his suit, and we know a lot of the movie will take place after that point. And really, come on guys, these days pretty much every superhero trailer is a little overzealous with reveals, especially when there's an opportunity to sell a new toy months before the movie premieres. So I guess if you want to be completely surprised, don't watch trailers, or just watch the Guardians of the Galaxy trailers. Like, James Gunn doesn't tell us anything in those. Okay, let's move on.
What if somebody had died?
I was just trying to be like you.
I wanted you to be better. I'm gonna need the suit back.
But I'm nothing without this suit.
If you're nothing without this suit, then you shouldn't have it.
I screwed up.
You need to stop carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders.
Okay, so here we see what I think will be the main dramatic turn of the movie: Peter getting his suit confiscated by Stark and being forced to rely on his own resourcefulness to build his own DIY suit. Which is great. Like, one of the best things about Peter Parker's character is his craftiness and creativity, and what he's like is just a normal kid. In fact, this was one of the things that I think made Spider-Man 2 so great, like all that character development when Peter stopped wearing the suit. Also, I love this mentoring line from Stark.
But I'm nothing without this suit.
If you're nothing without this suit, then you shouldn't have it.
Now, Peter doesn't realize it, but Stark is referencing his exchange with Cap back in the first Avengers movie.
Big man in a suit of armor. Take that off, what are you?
Genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist.
See, Stark knows that the suit doesn't make the man. The first Iron Man movie showed that the character underneath the mask has to be compelling, someone already heroic. And I think that's the goal of this Spider-Man movie, establishing Peter Parker as someone we want to root for, like how each of the other Avengers solo films did that. Moving on.
I want you to understand, I'll do anything to protect my family. I know you know what I'm talking about. So don't mess with me. Because I will kill you and everybody you love.
Okay, in this section we get more confrontations between Peter and the Vulture, and I love how his wings can fly independently. Again, kind of like Green Goblin's glider, but also like the Iron Man suits. So not only will Peter have to fight the man, Adrian Toomas, but also a separate drone machine version of him too. There's also more shots of this fight with the Shocker in the school bus yard, which I gotta say is a really cool location for this fight. It embodies the contrast between Peter's adult problems, these super-powered criminals, while he bounces off things from his life as a kid, the school buses. Next, there's this amazing shot on the Coney Island beach with the Vulture lifting Peter by his hoodie. And if you look closely, you can see the Vulture's arm controlling the movement of the corresponding wing. So kind of like Doc Ock's extra arms, these wings are really multi-purpose. And real quick, there's this shot of Liz Allen kissing Peter at the homecoming dance, meaning Spider-Man Homecoming will actually center around a homecoming at school. And I'm sure it'll just be an uneventful dance with no superhero action. Just kidding, all these kids' nights are gonna be ruined. All right, moving on.
My friends are up there.
The guy is still out there. I just gotta do this on my own.
All right, here there's more shots of this attack on the Washington Monument, with Michelle finally showing some concern over something.
My friends are up there.
Are they really your friends, Michelle? Or did you just run out of pretentious books to read? And I love how the Spider-Man spider emblem on his suit is also multi-purpose. In addition to tightening or releasing the suit, it can freaking fly off of him. And yeah, spiders don't fly. At least I hope they don't. But this is still very cool. Like, I don't know what it's doing or where it's going. Maybe Peter's just sending it off as a spy drone or another remote web bomb, or maybe just to spook Liz as she's falling down an elevator shaft. Not a good time. And then these great shots of Spider-Man refusing to let Vulture escape, clinging to him as he gets dragged up way above New York City. And just like that ferry shot, Peter is shown in this desperate, impossible situation with this Statue of Liberty in the background. Like, it's supposed to be a symbol of hope. And Peter webs the Vulture to this jet, nearly sucking both of them into the jet engine. Almost an Edna Mode from The Incredibles situation. Good thing they don't have capes. But what exactly is this aircraft? Like, this engine isn't on a wing, it's on the top of the craft. And by the look of it, it's been previously damaged with this jagged scar across the hull and the engine already on fire. So in case you were wondering, that small burst of flames is not the Vulture getting sucked in. Come on, they aren't gonna ruin your life with this trailer. Anyway, my best guess of what's going on, the Vulture damaged this aircraft, whatever it is, but Spider-Man is trying to force him to go down with the ship. But then this final section gives us a little more context.
Just don't do anything stupid.
I got this.
All right?
Yeah.
So yeah, now it seems like Peter has to bail on catching Vulture, and now he has to figure out how to land a damaged aircraft over the city, moving the flaps manually to control its direction. And this trailer kind of laughs it off as the sort of dramatic trouble that Peter promised Stark that he wouldn't get into. But when you think about it, airplanes crashing over New York City is a super high-stakes situation for every possible reason. Really, I just love how Spider-Man Homecoming looks like it's putting Peter Parker in all kinds of stress. The stress stresses of high school, the stress of superhuman threats, and the stress of the broader superhero world that he desperately wants to be a part of. And I think this balance is really the key to bringing home Spider-Man to what we love about the character. Okay, those are all the interesting things I noticed in this trailer, and if I didn't cover some stuff, it's because I already talked about it in my other breakdown of the first trailer, so go check that out. And let me know what you think in the comments. And if you like this video, please hit like and subscribe to New Rockstars for this sort of in-depth coverage of all kinds of Marvel content. Also, please share this video, and if you really like New Rockstars, you can contribute to us on Patreon. Thank you so much to all of our current patrons. You guys are awesome, especially Kenny Smith. You can hit me up on Twitter at EA Voss with any thoughts or predictions you have about Spider-Man Homecoming, or follow New Rockstars on Twitter at New Rockstars for updates on our videos. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.